wananchi,
nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la wananchi,
nguvu mashinani.
Sisi kama bunge la wananchi, ombi yetu ya mwisho na maelezo yetu ya mwisho siku ya leo ni ya kwamba petition ofisi ya Director of Public Prosecution today officially waweze kukamata wale walisponsor demonstration ya kuiba na kuvunja na kuua mali na kuua watu wa Kenya. Na hawa watu tumetaja kwa jina. Tumeomba mtu anaitwa Cyprian Nyakundi aweze kushikwa. Tumeomba mtu anaitwa Jimmy Wanjigi aweze kukamatwa. Tumeona mtu anaitwa Gachagua aweze kukamatwa. Tunataka wale wanaharakati wa kujidanganyana kama Matiang'i waweze kukamatwa. Hanifa na wenzake waweze kukamatwa. Na serikali baada ya kukamata hao watu, tunaomba waweze kulipa gharama yote ambayo ilitokana kwa sababu ya haya maandamano ya wizi walileta katika nchini yetu ya Kenya. Washikwe wasikishikwe. Washikwe wasishikwe. Gachagua ashikwe asishikwe. Jimmy Wanjigi ashikwe asishikwe. Jimmy Wanjigi ashikwe asishikwe. Cyprian Nyakundi ashikwe asishikwe. Boniface Bwenge ashikwe asishikwe. Fred Matiang'i ashikwe asishikwe. Hanifa ashikwe asishikwe. Bunge la wananchi. Bunge la wananchi. Washikwe wasishikwe.
I will not use the word anarchy. I will not use the word demonstration. What I witnessed on 25th, on Wednesday this week, was equivalent to a coup d'etat. If you walk downtown today, you would think we are in Iran because of the destruction that has happened. And we saw goons that have never been seen before in this town. Goons that would rob and also burn shops. Have you ever seen that in Nairobi before? We also saw goons who attempted to rape girls in State House girls. Have you ever seen that one? There is a militia being brought about by the opposition and also by the civil society. And the 8 individuals that have been mentioned here carries the greatest weight. And we are asking the DPP to move very quickly to put these people on trial, because this is not about demonstration, this is about coup d'etat. So when charges are read, and I understand the military now should be preparing to put these people in their military custody, because what we saw on Wednesday was not a demonstration, but what we are saying is a coup d'etat. And as I wind up, those people who have lost their lives, I understand they are about 15. The people who should be held responsibly for that should be the 8 individuals that we have talked about. Thank you very much.
Mmesikia majina yangu, naitwa James Okumu. Kwangu mimi natamaushwa sana kwa mambo ambayo aliendelea tarehe 25 Jumatano. Haya maandamano yaliyofanywa kwangu mimi siwezi ita maandamano. Ilikuwa ni wizi mkubwa ambao ulitendeka katika jiji hili. Na ninapozunguka naona huzuni kwa wale ambao walipoteza mali siku hiyo. Na waliopoteza mali ni vijana wadogo ambaye wamejaribu sana, wakapata loan, wakafungua vibanda zao vidogo ili wajihekimu kimaisha. Lakini wanayodai ya kwamba hao ni vijana waliokuja maandamano, walienda kuvamia vijana wenzao na kuharibia mali zao. Hii ni mambo mbaya sana ambayo yalitendeka, na tunafaa kushtumu hayo mambo. Manake Gen Z wale tunajua walikuja na malilio ambayo yalisikika, na walikuwa na njia mzuri ya kuleta malilio. Lakini wakora wauni wameingilia kati wakiwa sponsored na viongozi wanayodai ya kwamba wanataka wabadilishe Kenya. Hao viongozi wanayodai si viongozi ambaye tunaweza tambua. Manake tumeona ya kwamba wale wanafadhili kupitia kwa NGOs. Wengine tuliwapa uongozi na wakatoa sheria ama wakatoa waamuzi wa koti kuhusu election iliyopita kwa chini ya dakika 10. Chief Justice alitoa uamuzi kwa chini ya dakika 10. Chief Justice Mutunga leo hii anakuja kudai ya kwamba anataka mabadiliko Kenya. Huyo ni mtu ambaye pia akija mbele yenu anawadanganya, na yeye ndiye anafadhili kupitia kwa kina Mwangi, kupitia kwa kina Wanjigi. Hawa ndio mababa zao waliharibu nchi hii kwa kupora mali. Saa hii wanaleta mambo ya kudai ya kwamba Kenya imeharibika. Pia nakuja kwamba hawa viongozi wa kanisa walikashifu sana juzi serikali, lakini haya mambo ambayo yametendeka, hakuna kiongozi wa kanisa amekuja kwa vyombo za dola kusema kwamba anashtumu haya mambo ambaye looting ambayo imeendelea. Hakuna. Wakiongoza na Muheria ndugu yake amekuwa governor wa Central Bank. Hakuna lolote alibadilisha, dola ilikuwa juu ukilinganisha na yule governor ako sahi. Kwa hivyo viongozi wa kanisa wanafaa kusimama kidete na kusema ukweli bila kuegemea upande wowote. Wanafaa kukuja kwa media washtumu haya mambo ambayo yametendeka. Watu wanalia kwa huku nje, wamepoteza mali kubwa sana. Vijana wamepoteza kazi. Ukiangalia Naivas ilikuwa imeajiri watu wangapi? Wengi mno wamepoteza kazi. Alafu vijana wakora wanakuja kwa street kujaribu kudanganya kwamba wanataka mabadiliko. Mimi nashtumu hayo mambo, na tunaomba kwamba serikali ichunguze kutumia CCTV ambazo ziko mjini, inase hao watu na inasa hao viongozi wanayejidai kwamba wanataka mabadiliko. Wao wanakuja watatu na maua hapa town bila kuambia wafuasi wao kwamba mbebe maua. Hii haikuwa anniversary, ilikuwa ni looting. Maana watu walikuja na manyundo town kuvunja maduka. Hiyo ilikuwa anniversary gani? Kwa hivyo tunashtumu hawa viongozi ya kwamba wajaribu juu chini, serikali jaribu juu chini iwanase na wagharimie yale mambo watu wamepoteza town. Kwa hayo machache, asanteni.
Yes, my colleagues have already said it, and I want to affirm by saying that what was intended to be an anniversary of the people we have lost in the last 1 year was hijacked by anarchists who had another agenda different from what was supposed to be achieved. What we saw on 25th, on Wednesday, was nothing near to peaceful demonstration. The peaceful demonstration that is defined in Article 37 of our Constitution, that every citizen has a right peacefully and unarmed to demonstrate, to picket, and to submit petitions to authorities. What happened on Wednesday was nothing close to that. What happened on Wednesday was anarchy, violence, mayhem, intended to make Kenya ungovernable. That is not what is intended in Article 37 of our Constitution. As Bunge la Mwananchi, we continue criticizing some of the policies of this government, but we do not support mayhem and anarchy and violence in the name of criticizing this government. As Bunge la Mwananchi, we would like to distance ourselves and dissociate ourselves from all forms of violence perpetrated by the anarchists on Wednesday, June 25th. Because we do not support actions of violence as Bunge la Mwananchi. Even as we pursue justice, we must pursue justice in a dignified and peaceful manner. And we want to say that, as my colleagues have said, the DCI should move very swiftly and very fast and investigate the sponsors of the anarchy and the perpetrators and hold them to account for their actions. Because as Bunge la Mwananchi, we are a social justice movement. We do not support such actions. There are only two ways to remove a president in Kenya, two constitutional means. One is through impeachment, and another one is through election. There is no clause in our constitution that says you can demonstrate to remove a president. So we call upon Kenyans that we must adhere to our constitution, that if we want to remove President William Samoei Ruto, the constitutional means of removing him is through impeachment or through election. We must wait for an election in 2027 in order to remove him. So what I want to say as I finish, I want to say as Bunge la Mwananchi, we strongly stand and condemn the anarchy, the violence, and the mayhem that we are witnessing in our country. We want to say enough is enough to bloodshed. Enough is enough to bloodshed. Say enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough to anarchy.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough to mayhem.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough to attacking policemen.
Enough is enough.
Let me now invite James Okumu, or let me now invite the national chairman, because this press conference is convened by the national chairman under the banner of the national.
Bunge la Wananchi. Bunge la Wananchi. Thank you very much. My name is Comrade Bush. I'm the Attorney General of Bunge la Wananchi. And the statement that has just been read out is the official statement of Bunge la Wananchi. I just want to emphasize an aspect of development as far as this press conference is concerned. Today morning, pursuant to Article 157 of the Constitution, Article 37 of the Constitution, and all other legislations that support criminal procedure in Kenya, we have petitioned via a letter dated 27th June 2025, the Director of Criminal Prosecution, and copied the same letter to the Chief Prosecutor of the ICC, Mr. Karim Khan, requesting for immediate investigations to be launched into the criminal conspiracy, seditious and other violent actions that were witnessed on Wednesday, the 25th June of 2025, that were intended to destabilize the national stability of Kenya, to discredit our dignity as a nation, and to commit unprecedented acts of violence against the people of Kenya. Time has come when those who are responsible, not just the radical anarchists, not just the criminal perpetrators, but their sponsors and enablers must be held accountable in accordance with the law. And accompanying that petition, we forwarded a list containing 8 individuals that we believe bear the greatest responsibility for the unfortunate events of Wednesday, 25th June 2025. The list includes commercial activists. The list includes radical anarchists. And the list includes individuals who belong to a group calling themselves United Opposition and some non-governmental organizations. The position of Bunge la Mwananchi must be very firm. Never again will the blood of innocent Kenyans be harvested to fuel violence and to water the tree of perpetual criticism of government and perpetual grievance by anti-government forces. The Constitution has enough avenues and mechanisms and frameworks to hold government accountable and to oversight government. But the blood of Kenyans will never be used to water the blood of perpetual criticism and grievance. That one we say no. Further, we also want to say that the scale and scope of the destruction and damage that was done on Wednesday is still a matter that is under investigations. But one thing is very clear, that the events of June 25th June were not spontaneous. They were premeditated, they were planned, it was manufactured violence with a predetermined outcome to undermine the legitimacy of a government that was elected, to inflict a severe wound on the soul of our security organs. They were intended to discredit the very essence of the Republic of Kenya. And we call upon the investigative agencies led by the DCI and the ODPP that within 7 days from the date of receipt of this petition that we have just served today, they should initiate prosecution against the individuals that we have mentioned, and so that they are held criminally culpable for the offenses that they committed. If the demand is for accountability, then the process that must be initiated should ensure that the perpetrators are identified. If the demand is for justice, then the process that is initiated must ensure that those who finance and enable the violence face the full wrath of the law. With those few remarks, I would wish to invite James Okumu to invite.
Thank you very much. My name is Oscar Kiplagat, a youth leader at Bunge la Mwananchi. Mimi nataka ni condemn mambo ambayo ilifanyika tarehe 25. It's something that imetuacha wengi na huzuni mwingi. Sisi kama wafanyabiashara tumepoteza mali mingi sana, na tungeomba serikali isaidie sana katika uchunguzi. We want those people who are looting properties ya wananchi wakuwa arrested very quickly. Haiwezekani kwamba kuna watu wachache ambao watakuwa wanalipa vijana waende wa loot. Sisi kama Gen Z, I want to say it categorically. Sisi kama Gen Z tarehe 25 hatukukuwa na maandamano. Sisi tulikuwa na event ya kukumbuka wale watu ambao, vijana ambao waliuawa. Haikuwa maandamano. People are trying to quote it, watu wanajaribu kuiweka kwamba ilikuwa maandamano na wakaingiza wakora ndani ya Gen Z, to rubbish Gen Z. Gen Z sisi bado tuna criticize the government na tunaambia serikali ifanye kazi ambayo mwananchi anataka. It's not all about kulutu watu na kuharibu nchi. Thank you very much.
Bunge la Wananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la Wananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
My name is Nicholas Kimanzi. I'll proceed to read our formal statement. Members of the press, Bunge la Wananchi is here to issue a press statement, and from the onset, we are very concerned about the events of Wednesday, the 25th June, 2025. Bunge la Wananchi vehemently condemns the coordinated mayhem that struck Nairobi and parts of Kenya on Wednesday, orchestrated by opposition leaders led by one Rigathi Gachagua, Jimmy Wanjigi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, and the rest. These acts were not spontaneous protests, but calculated attempts to force a regime change through unconstitutional means. The offenses have been committed and they violate applicable laws in Kenya. One of the offenses is unlawful assembly, permitting a group of 3 or more persons who with intent to commit an offense or excite fear to breach the peace, which has a penalty of 1 year imprisonment under Section 78, subsection 1 of the Penal Code, incitement and subversion, encouraging or inciting violence or insurrection against lawful authority. Under Section 77, subsection 1b of the Penal Code, these are subversive acts and are criminal and punishable. Number 2, terrorism offenses. Acts of violence, use of firearms, creation of fear, destruction of property, storming armories, attacking police and public institutions are classed as terrorism under Terrorism and Prevention Act. Number 3, Public Order Act violations. Failure by organizers to notify authorities or facilitate peaceful assembly, contributing to disorder and property destruction. Number 4, destruction of property and assault, burning of courts, vandalism, looting, injuring police officers. Those acts violate the provisions across Penal Code and Public Order Act, carrying severe criminal liabilities. These unlawful acts include conspiracy to commit terrorist offenses under the Prevention of Terrorism Act and facilitation of terrorism under the Security Laws Amendment Act, sections 30A and B. And these are our demands as Bunge la Wananchi. We call upon law enforcement, and in particular the DCI, to 1, immediately summon Jimmy Wanjigi and Rigathi Gachagua and all financiers, organizers, and key actors responsible for planning and funding and executing the violent acts we saw on Wednesday, 25th day of June 2025. Number 2, record their statements, focusing specifically on logistics, chain of command, and full sources. Number 3, we want the DCI to launch a prompt and impartial investigation into all involved, ensuring prosecution under 1, Penal Code, 3, Prevention of Terrorism Act, 2, Prevention of Terrorism Act, and 3, Public Order Act. Number 4, we want the DCI to prosecute all perpetrators to the fullest extent of the law, including charges of terrorism, conspiracy to commit felony, destruction of property, assault, and incitement to violence. And we are asking as Bunge la Wananchi that these actions be very swift, because turning Nairobi, the home to State House and national institutions, into a theater of violence is an attack on Kenya's democracy and rule of law. The destruction of courts in Kikuyu, violent seizure of government assets, and intimidation of police officers. These acts are intended to destabilize the constitutional order. Anything short of firm and transparent actions risks condoning political violence. Bunge la Wananchi stands with peaceful, democratic change and will monitor development closely. We are prepared to pursue further legal and civic measures if justice is seen to be delayed or denied. We urge all Kenyans to support the swift enforcement of justice and uphold the Constitution and public order. Bunge la Wananchi. Bunge la Wananchi. That is the official statement of Bunge la Wananchi. I'll urge the AG to paraphrase and make his comments on the same. Bunge la Wananchi. Bunge la Wananchi.